what's up guys, Somebody here. The DStv Premiership is back. Peter Shalulile is back. And what about Orlando Pirates' transfer policy? And where are we with Zwane? Gotta talk about it. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
Sundowns takes on Orlando Pirates. That is the first game of the DStv Premiership. Have to tell you, man, I miss this league. I missed it so much. You know, I watched the World Cup, but there's something about our local flavor that you just can't take out, especially when you fall in love with it. And it's a huge fixture, a game with a lot of salt. Why does it have a lot of salt? It's because the one team was embarrassed in the MTN 8. And then the other team was embarrassed in the Carling Cup. So Sundowns beat Orlando Pirates the last time they met, but the MTN 8 fixture is the one that sticks out, those two legs, just how Orlando Pirates dealt with it. Now, everybody can admit that since Rulani's come in, this team plays differently. They score a lot of goals. I mean, I showed you the stats the last time I spoke about Rulani being the head coach of Mamelodi Sundowns. And they're just more on the front foot, which is really great to see. But there is one slight problem I think Rulani might have. You know, on their social media pages, they posted pictures of their training facilities and the players training as well. And I saw one name that is back after a long time. Peter Shalulile, the sniper. He's back. So he was part of the picks. I was happy to see him because obviously there was talks about, is he potentially leaving? Is he trying to angle a move to try leave Mamelodi Sundowns? But nope, he's coming back. He's training hard and he looks fit as ever. And it's just in time because the CAF is going to start next year. So the group stages are going to kick off and then Peter Shalulile will be there. But the dilemma that Coach Rulani finds himself in is Mailula, Cassius. What happens to him? I mean, what happens to Cassius? Because he's been scoring goals, you know? He's the second highest goal scorer of the club this current season. And when you watch Sundowns with Cassius in it, he's just more fluid because he moves around. He's very mobile. You can't mark him per se. But then you look on the other hand, you're like, but Peter Shalulile is a beast. He's the best striker in the league. He scored all those goals, you know, over 50 goals in 80 games. So he has to come back in, right? So what happens then next? Do they play together? Because I think they can. They definitely can play together. The only thing is if Rulani puts them together, you're sort of sacrificing a Mayema, you're sacrificing a Sereno, you're sacrificing a Domingo as well, who's come in and played really well. But Rulani, you know him, he likes to do those pep things and he likes to tinker around and likes to scratch his head, of course. So it'll be interesting to see what he does against Orlando Pirates. Do I want to see them play together? Of course I do. Let's discuss Orlando Pirates' transfer policy. They've added to the squad. You know, they were busy during December. They brought in players and obviously they're trying to challenge Mamelodi Sundowns for the league title. That's pretty definite. And I think also they're trying to add from the MTN 8 win, trying to get the Nedbank Cup. So they bought Mabena. He's come back to Orlando Pirates. And then Craig Martin of Cape Town City. I put out a tweet and, you know, I spoke about both players coming in. I really felt that they didn't need both players. I really felt that way because of what they have at the squad. And let me show you something. Because in the comments, there was a lot of people questioning why would I not think they need these players. Look at Orlando Pirates' strike force at this current moment. Because for those who don't know, Mabena is a striker. They already have 6 strikers there at the club. 6. Lepasa's there, Chukwumanja. They brought in Comedy Rasmus, Evanga, and Mahopa, and as well as Pepra. So now you bring in striker number 7. What for? What for? Consider the fact that I'm not an ageist, but he's 35 years old. What is he going to add to Orlando Pirates that what you don't have already? How does this make any sense? And also consider the fact that we have a striker from Cameroon who, his name is Mauro, scored 21 goals last season. Apparently he's highly rated. He could be joining the club too. He's spoken to the media about his next club could be Orlando Pirates. But how many forwards do you guys need? I mean, I sit and I just wonder, like, imagine if City bought 7 strikers, what would they say? I mean, if Arsenal bought 7 strikers, what would they say? Like, that's why I question the transfer policy as well. I mean, and you speak of this Cameroon striker who comes highly rated, right? Didn't Pepra come highly rated? Just asking. When Pepra came from Ghana, didn't he come highly rated with the goals that he scored? So Same with Craig Martin too. I mean, I spoke about the strikers now. Let's go to Craig Martin. The two positions that he could occupy. Right back. There's already two right backs there. Tabiso's there and Banle Shandu's there. Okay, let's go to right wing. Maybe the space there at right wing. Maybe he can occupy there. There's Dlamini, Kabelo Dlamini, Vincent Pule, Lodge, Saleng. Saleng's made that position his own. You know? So there's so many players who can play in that right wing position. And you have to question the transfer policy because it seems like players that come to Orlando Pirates, the way they leave, it's not how they came before. They came very talented. They came with such hype. And then when they leave, you're like, what happened there? So when I think of Craig Martin, I think of Wade Juster. I remember I posted a video about him too. And I said, I don't think they needed him. And 2 seasons later, he's not at the club. He's not at the club. He's still looking for a club. Sibesihle Ndlovu. I mean, I really liked that player when he was at Maritzburg United. And now he's already at Supersport United. Like, it seems like the Pirates thing didn't happen. That's why. Bafana captain. And look what he turned out to be like. And in Supersport, he's playing really well. So, I don't think you overloading players into the club is what's going to win the club the league. No. I think you have a good coach already. Jose is there. But he must coach the players that are already there. There's no need for 7 strikers. There's no need for 8 strikers. But I also did say that potentially if these players are coming in, then I could see players potentially leaving as well. So I'm wishing the club all the best. Dumsoma Bena, please prove me wrong. You know, show me why they need you, as well as Craig Martin as well. But that fixture, I can't wait for it. Where are we with Zwane and Kaizer Chiefs? Now let's look back at their first half of the season before the World Cup. 17 games in all competition, as you can see. 7 wins, 5 draws, 6 losses, 19 goals scored, 18 goals conceded, and only 5 clean sheets. So, Shakes Rampedi, how have you rated the first half of Zwane's tenure as the head coach? I don't think it's been good. I think it's been below par. You know, there's just too many inconsistencies as well within that team. I mean, they force on the log, no doubt about it. They force and in the top 4, which is really great. But it's not because of how amazing they have been. It's because the league has just been having way too many draws. If you look at the league table, you just need 2 wins and you can jump right up the league. So that's what's helped Kaizer Chiefs, is the fact that there's just been more teams that have drawn more than they have. And you sort of ask yourself, Zwane, it's his first season, of course. He's trying to maintain the head coaching position. He's trying to take this team on as well. What does he need to do for me that he should stay on a long-term basis? And I've come up with some points. Point number 1, he needs to remain in the top 4. That's for sure. He needs to stay there. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. It's between those positions. He can't go any lower than that for me. And also the inconsistency of the league as well will help him out with that. Number 2, a deep run into the Nedbank Cup. That's needed. That is definitely needed because an opportunity was missed with the MTN8. That was missed because they just had to score against Amazulu in KZN and they didn't. That's all they needed, just 1 goal. They were not able to go through. And after Orlando Pirates makes the final, then Yusuf Mart scores that brilliant goal. One thing you think about is the fact that could they have beaten Orlando Pirates in that final? Maybe. So you think of that opportunity that is missed. And also, consistent lineup. I mean, there's just been too many goalkeepers for my liking in the first half of the season. In 17 games, we've seen Bruce Vuma, we've seen Itumlen Kune, and we've seen Brandon Peterson. The keepers don't need to change that much. You know, just pick one. Just pick one and play him. And also, he's got to get more out of Keegan Dolan as well as Kamabiliat. I've spoken about the fact that I feel that their superpowers are running out. But for what they have left, he's just got to squeeze everything that they have left. That's for sure. So they face Golden Arrows, of course. The last time they went to KZN, they did lose. So I'm expecting better from Zwane, considering the fact that we've had almost 2 months break due to this World Cup. So I want to see this team playing a lot better. I want to see a lot more wins. I want to see the philosophy on the pitch. So for Zwane, and as well as his coaching staff, I expect more. Swallows announced the new head coach for the remainder of the season. I mean, what a signing. Ernst Middendorp. I didn't see this one coming because I think this is Swallows' best signing this season. Not the players, but this coach. I say that because of his pedigree in the PSL. You look at the teams that he's coached, and if my memory serves me well, I don't think he's been relegated. Not that I can remember. And also you look at what he did with Maritzburg United. I mean, this guy was losing players season after season. His key players, he was losing them every end of the season, and he still managed to keep them in the division. And then you remember that season with Kaizer Chiefs. He ran between Zwane and Sundowns all the way till the last game. So for me, when I looked at that signing, it just screams safe. It screams stability. It just screams the fact that Swallows are going to be here even the following season. With that said, I can see this relationship working out. You know, I can see these two working out. Swallows, Ernst Middendorp, definitely. But there's a but. He needs to work in an environment where he's not going to have any problems. He needs to work in a very good environment. And the reason why I say that is because there's been a lot of noise at Swallows. You know, players not getting paid. I don't know if that's true or not, but Coach Dylan Kerr has come on to radio and he's spoken about that openly to say some players were not paid and how hard it was for them to be motivated to play the games. You look at players leaving, just the way that Cheeseboy left, the way that Vuyomere left the club as well. That was not good. That was not really good. And you look at the way that they came into the DStv Premiership. They started like a house on fire. They had their draws, of course, but they maintained the position that they were in. And of course, there was that sponsorship deal that they had with Telkom that they were not able to pull through. And then obviously all the problems came after that. But it's no use capturing a coach of this caliber and not putting him in an environment where he can work really well. And I really do think it's a good one. And also I do think Musa Nyatama is going to learn a lot from him, because you can tell Musa Nyatama is trying to get his badges. I was also hoping that he would not be the head coach because it's just too much of a responsibility. The club, the size. I mean, not Musa Nyatama, man. He's too inexperienced. Just not him. But assistant, fine. Give it to him as the assistant. They face Richards Bay. I mean, Richards Bay, they've been, stubborn in defense. They don't concede many goals at all. And they have to hit the ground running, that's for sure, when you look at the position that they're in. One thing I can tell you, with Ernst Middendorp there, this season's going to get very interesting. Cape Town City are just 2 points off the relegation position. That's last place. I mean, did you guys see this? Because I felt like it was not spoken about enough just before the World Cup started. And they showed that they were struggling. I mean, they were struggling to juggle CAF and as well as the DStv Premiership. I mean, also the fact that their squad was too thin. I just really felt that the squad was too thin and they were letting go of players. But that's why they've bolstered as well. Camilo Zapata, 44 goals in 73 games at his previous club. And if he's anything like Darwin Gonzalez, then he's probably going to be a very good signing. And I think they're also trying to shed the load from Kaizer Chiefs to score the goals too. It's going to be very tasty to watch them in attack. And I do think Eric Tinkler too, if he wants to keep his job, they definitely need to do better. But now the fact that CAF is out the way, I expect this team to do a whole lot better. And luckily for them, they play a Royal AM side. And Royal AM, when they play, it's very open when they play. And I can see a lot of goals being scored within that game. A game that I look forward to, and a game that I think Cape Town City can get 3 points. It's time for our weekly bet of the week. The purpose of this segment is to show you my bet slip in hopes that it helps yours light and green. The more accurate, the more cash you get. Let's get into it. Let's speak about the clubs in Manchester. I've given it to you guys. I've only got two selections. Number one, Man United going up against Nottingham Forest. I've gone with the Man United win and over 2.5 goals scored. Definitely, I can see that happening. Next one, Leeds taking on Manchester City. I've gone with the Manchester City win and over 2.5 goals. My odds 2.97. But here's the interesting part. With just $500, I get 1.5 back. So that's what I'm going to be placing my bets on this week. That is Bet of the Week, sponsored by Betway. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. Until the next one, all the best. We've come to the end of the show. Now to the DStv Premiership coaches and players. You guys saw the World Cup. You saw the standard. Don't let me down. And for you that's watching, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.